Let's go ahead and head to Austin, Texas, where Blueprint Data Centers is helping to fuel the region's rapid tech growth with 85 megawatts of new capacity across facilities in Taylor and Georgetown.
That's right, the Taylor data center, ideally situated a mere 5 minutes from Samsung's colossal $44 billion chip fabrication complex. I think I got that. 44 billion is difficult for me to say. Chip fabrication complex will deliver 60 megawatts of power, while the Georgetown site adds 25 megawatts. Both locations offer attractive economic incentives, including a decade-long 50% property tax abatement, further highlighting Austin's appeal as a primary destination for digital growth. Folks, that is what the edge is defined as. When you can put it right next to a $44 billion or $44 billion facility of Samsung. Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders like these two good-looking guys to my right from within the digital infrastructure industry. And we are coming at you on day 2 of Datacloud USA co-located, easy for me to say, right, guys? My lips aren't quite working just yet. Co-located with Metro Connect in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas, home of the Longhorns, the state capital. We're keeping it weird right here on JSA TV. And the gentleman to my right are Mr. Scott Berg. Scott is the CEO of DF&I and Southreach Networks. Hardly seems fair to the rest of us that do not have a CEO title. We also have my old friend, Mr. Mike Severett. Mike is the CRO of Southreach Networks. Gentlemen, welcome as always to JSA TV.
Thank you so much, Dean. I appreciate it. It's fun to be here.
It is fun for me to get to hang out with old friends, but we don't have a whole lot of time, and we apparently have a lot to talk about with you guys right now. There is a ton coming out of your newsroom right now, a ton in your orbit right now with both DF&I and Southreach. But let's first talk about the elephant in the room, the acquisition. Who wants to talk about the acquisition?
I'll get it kicked off.
Let's do it.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. We were just super excited. Blue Owl Capital has just been such a fabulous capital partner for us, and they allow us to not only look at opportunities to grow organically and get aggressive to capture, our fair share or more of this immense infrastructure development opportunity from just an organic build perspective, but also to look at those key opportunities where we can find a team, number one, that's also got a great set of assets, and along with that great set of assets, some fantastic ideas for how we can deploy more assets, where we can solve more problems for that customer group. And we were just very, very fortunate to run into Mike and the rest of the Southreach team, get to know that network a little bit better. And again, they've got all three of those things. They've got a great team that's been doing a fantastic job. They've got a great set of assets that are throughout Florida, and a great plan for where additional assets are going to solve more problems for the customers. And so you put those three things together with a little bit of capital, and all of a sudden you got a recipe for some pretty exciting times. So we're really thrilled.
It's interesting because they saw a lot of the things that I may have even seen. I mean, this feels like a great fit, but anyway, other questions. Speaking of that infrastructure, Mike, and putting it where it's needed most, I know that you've got some pretty ambitious construction going on right now. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So today we have a little over 370 miles of underground fiber spanning the east coast of Florida, Jacksonville down through Miami. So we are really excited to kick off a new construction project where we're just about 60 miles of all new fiber construction, underground fiber, spanning between all diverse routes, spanning between Boca Raton down through Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Florida, into Miami. and then an additional project expanding off of our backbone into Flagler Beach, Palm Coast, Florida, for some of the exciting opportunities that are happening up there with some new landing stations. So the new routes we've kicked off, we're estimating they'll be ready for service in Q1 of 26. And those will be diverse routes, completely diverse from our current network, short, low latency, high count fiber, all new construction with the ability to serve multiple data centers with dual access and ring diversity, also with a couple new cable landing stations to support our current customer base, new customer base, and just the growing the subsea community that has about 6 cables landing in South Florida. So we're really excited about that to offer our customers diversity, lower latency routes, and also expand into the ever-growing data center community in Florida, which you're starting to see. So really excited about that. And with Scott's leadership and the Blue Owl digital infrastructure team behind us, I think it's perfect timing.
It feels like you guys are running at 100 miles an hour right now, or faster.
Well, we have to. I mean, these hyperscalers' demand right now is so insatiable, which is a great problem to have. But, we come to a show like this and we get together with a couple of the underlying customers that we've got today. And wherever there's power, they're ready to take it, provided that it's actually got the communication infrastructure to be able to support it. Otherwise, you just have a big hot warehouse. And and in some of these areas where the power is they need some new infrastructure to be able to get there and diverse paths. So having the existing infrastructure, looking at new builds that'll get us that diversity as well as that redundancy going into and out of those locations. We're just very thankful to be at this point in time and to have this great team to work with. So,
well, Scott, you have kicked the door open, so I'm going to go off script right now because I'm going to tell you right now, I have probably done 25 interviews over the last day and morning. And 3 things are being said to me more than I have heard them maybe in the last decade, right? Power, I hear that all the time, right? Hear that all the time. Resources, water, hear that all the time. Fiber is the new kid on the block. I mean, it sounds ridiculous to say because we were the kind of the old kid on the block 10 years ago,
right.
But it's like the new kid on the block. I think that the industry is now saying, hey, look, to your point, without fiber, without these really robust kind of like point-to-point, like synchronous fiber infrastructure, they're just hot warehouses.
Right.
To your point, and pardon my ignorance on it, but like as I understand it, like these kind of large language, the learning models, they don't work without that fiber. They don't learn a thing without it.
That's right. And they can't reach the inference nodes, which will be the next generation of growth, that then have to reach the eyeball networks that allow this to be accessible to all of us who are going to use these services to be able to change so many things in our lives. So, when you go on ChatGPT, that's got to go through a series of connections to get back to that large language model. That's giving you the answers. It's giving you the dialogue. Any of those resources require multiple links, and the capacity and the architecture of the legacy networks just won't support it. So it's going to be new build for just about anybody that's going to go into those markets. We're just well positioned to be able to use some of the existing asset, the existing team, as well as the capital to be able to put that new build in place to enable the wonderful things that we're all going to be able to change the way we live, work, and play. Just with those with these new services once they're enabled.
As an old school telecom guy, I mean, I'm super stoked about this. I'm so glad that we're talking about that underlying infrastructure that really is making it all happen. We talk about data centers a lot, and we love you. But there's other things happening there. Okay, back to what's going on. Looking ahead, the Blue Owl backing your expansion and the ecosystem and 370-mile fiber network. Lots of stuff going on. Let's talk about what's next. It's weird to talk about what's next when there's so much happening right now, but let's do it. Let's talk about what's next, Mike.
So today, the immediate focus is to finish the new construction routes and to continue to expand in Florida. There's so much room to grow within Florida. It's a large state, as everyone knows, and the large, just the population of enterprise data centers that are actually now starting to really pop up in the new subsea cable. So we're really excited about the growth, the current opportunity to support the hyperscale market, the subsea market, the carriers, but at the same time, what's next? We're right on the border of Georgia, everything that's happening right there. So we're always looking and keeping our eyes open on, getting ahead of the next project that Scott always talks about, because it's most important that you're not, you can solve for something way ahead of time and design and architect it. So for us, a lot to do in Florida. A lot of new routes that we're looking at, that we're building in expansion plans, but at the same time, keeping our eye on what's next and getting ahead of those large projects, especially in our neighboring states.
I love it. Scott, final word?
Yeah, I mean, the combination of campus builds, when we're putting in multiple new hyperscale data centers, they need to be connected to one another, which is creating a new infrastructure set that ultimately can be dotted line into what used to be called long haul networks, which we really don't even think about them that way anymore. And so we're really excited about, where Florida turns into Georgia, where Georgia turns into South Carolina, North Carolina. All of a sudden, you're in Ashburn, and there's a diverse line between what we're doing with DF&I up in Ashburn and Maryland down to Florida is something that there's demand for today. We just have to find a smart way to value add, provide that to all the customers. And for us, again, we're infrastructure developers, so it's for the hyperscalers, but it's also for the carriers. It's for the local fiber to the home providers, the government users who are going to be along that path along the way. We can transform a lot of things on the back of this amazing wave of AI-driven innovation, and we're just really excited to be a part of it.
Well, I'm excited for you guys. Like two of my favorite people in the industry, kind of as one power right now. Very excited. Let's do this again in like 6 months or a year from now and get an update.
Fantastic. Look forward to it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
looking
Dean.
forward to it.
All right, Mike, Scott, pleasure.
Take care.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
Let's go ahead and head to Austin, Texas, where Blueprint Data Centers is helping to fuel the region's rapid tech growth with 85 megawatts of new capacity across facilities in Taylor and Georgetown.
That's right. The Taylor data center, ideally situated a mere 5 minutes from Samsung's colossal $44 billion chip fabrication complex. I think I got that. 44 billion is difficult for me to say. Chip fabrication complex will deliver 60 megawatts of power, while the Georgetown site adds 25 megawatts. Both locations offer attractive economic incentives, including a decade-long 50% property tax abatement, further highlighting Austin's appeal as a primary destination for digital growth. Folks, that is what the edge is defined as. When you can put it right next to a $44 billion $44 billion facility of Samsung, that's as close to the edge as it gets.
No, it's incredible. And I also, the story under that story is how great it is when governments and states really draw this type of industry, our industry, in, recognize that we are the source of the future for AI adoption. So, so excited about that story in many levels. Okay, finally in this segment, T5 data centers. We've got to talk about them, guys. They are teaming up with Bitfarms to support their HPC and AI expansion at the Panther Creek campus, again, Pennsylvania.
That's it. As Bitfarm accelerates its AI strategy, T5 will support pre-construction design, planning, and development approvals for the facility, bringing decades of experience in data center design, construction, and operations to the table.
Incredible momentum across the board. This is a great time to be in our industry. And as always, guys, it's also about the people behind these deals who make this magic happen. So let's go on to our new segment, Movers and Shakers. I'm gonna
I love
insert
it.
some music there. Yeah, okay. All right, let's kick things off with Radius DC CEO Mike Kurza, who's set to take the stage at Datacloud USA Metro Connect Fall 2025 in Austin. Coming up fast. He'll be joined by a number of industry shakers, by the way, including our friend DF&I CEO Scott Bergs.
That's right, Jay. Mike and Scott will join leaders from Meta, you may have heard of them, Beal Infrastructure, and OCI on the panel about accelerating go live dates. I feel like our entire fast forward is about accelerating go live right now.
Let's go. Also, Vivacity Infrastructure Group, we need to talk about them. They are also strengthening their team. They have appointed Ben Poisky as Director of Partnership and Business Development.
That's right. Polsky, I think that I got his name pronunciation right, will lead growth efforts across data centers, hyperscalers, DOT, I believe that's Department of Transportation, and utilities, helping Vivacity expand its reach in critical network infrastructure solutions.
Yeah. And, just reading that, seeing that, hearing that, data centers, hyperscalers, DOT, utilities. I mean, this world, if it's not interconnected enough, I mean, to hear the impact of our industry, like layering up, in our infrastructure, nationally, regionally, farm to farm connections, and then also globally, like a global ecosystem, one global economy. I mean, it's incredible. Sorry.
Yes.
All right.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
Moving back. Sorry, had a moment, but I also wanted to do a quick shout out to Trangistics, who has launched a newly redesigned website.
That's right. Websites are a big deal. I mean, as you have been telling me for the better part of the last 25 years, it's the 24-hour sales tool. So congratulations to Trangistics. The refresh enhances navigation and better showcases their logistics and transportation services, including for the growing digital infrastructure sector. Again, the sector touches everywhere. Trangistics, logistics, all of these ancillary industries kind of coming together to make it all happen.
I mean, you feel it, right? This
Absolutely.
And I always talk about good begetting more good, this powerful upcycle. And I feel like our industry is in one. And it's pretty magical, pretty.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. And we are coming at you live. That's right, Mark. We are live from beautiful downtown Austin, Texas, at the Datacloud USA, co-located with Metro Connect, or Metro Connect, co-located with Datacloud USA in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas, home of the Longhorns, the state capital of Texas, and we're keeping it weird
Oh.
here on JSA TV.
Couple of bald
And
guys.
speaking of weird, this gentleman to my right, this good-looking gentleman to my right, my friend, my brother from another mother, is Mr. Mark Gusikoff. Mark,
Semi-identical twin.
that's
yeah,
right. Mark
semi-identical.
is the CCO of the IDCA. Mark, it is wonderful to see you.
Good to see you again. It's been a little while.
It has been a little while. It's been too long.
Yeah, it was Buffy last week. It's you this week.
It was Buffy. I apologies for this.
Oh no, it's great.
Oh,
It's like looking in a mirror again.
Yeah,
I
I love
do
it.
glasses, but
Okay. CCO, IDCA. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about the IDCA?
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
So IDCA is the International Data Center Authority. We are the global standardization entity within the industry, within digital infrastructure. And we're actually going past many boundaries right now as we're starting to see the advancements in AI, the need for more power, the need for higher density compute, the human capital deficit that's being thrust upon us.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually going past and not just looking at data centers and not just looking at digital infrastructure, but looking at this from a lens of a global digital economy.
Mm-hmm.
We're working with massive entities. I mean, we're working with countries right now. Just signed a deal with Oman for the entire country to support them in their build out. Oman's going to be the next powerhouse in the Middle East for digital deployment. Just super cool. They're strategically located. They've got the right mindset. They've got the right culture and the right interests in being able to be the next global digital superpower. So we're super excited to be doing that. We've got our certification programs. We've got our education programs. Excuse me. And the one thing that I think I personally love that we're doing that no one else in the industry has done is we've actually got a certification program for, I know the viewers can't see, but we've got a certification program that can accommodate all the people in this room. And no one's done that before, where they take the systems, the designs, the services, the ancillary equipment and components within the industry, to be able to certify that to a level of excellence that's commensurate with what's coming down for an AI deployment versus a Bitcoin mining operation, being able to put that in perspective and being able to scale it. Nobody else is able to certify people in that capacity. So super excited to be on the adventure and journey with, my chairman, Mehdi Paryavi, has been traveling all over the darn world, getting these deals signed all over the place. We're growing at an alarming speed. We're keeping up with the AI race.
So what exactly is new in the digital economy? I mean, from my seat, it seems like what is new is that it is expanding exponentially.
Yeah.
Is that what's new? What's new?
So growth is certainly the thing that we keep hearing. That's the buzzword, like speed to market and growth. But scalability has also got to be taken into account of that. I believe that's getting a bit of a backseat in the conversations that I've been involved with historically. I think we'll talk about nuclear in a minute, but even with
definitely
nuclear,
want to get to that.
We'll talk about growth and scale in nuclear in a second. But the power considerations that we have that are thrust upon us, we're behind in that. And again, we'll talk about that with the nuclear piece. But within the global digital economy, we're not just thinking about how are we going to do 5 megawatt deployments, how are we going to do 10 megawatt deployments. Everybody's looking at a larger need for more power for their critical IT load.
Yeah.
It's more than just that. When people were making migrations to the cloud years ago, and then they had to repatriate to come back, you've got those people who are still in a decision-making mode.
Yeah.
That, 3 years ago, that was a huge problem. Now, those people are looking at how am I going to keep up with an AI deployment if I need to do AI? Am I going to do liquid cooling? Am I not going to do liquid cooling? And I talk to a lot of people who try to think that they have all the answers. I don't really think that everybody has all of the answers to be able to do this because people haven't necessarily done it yet. What we're doing is we're creating a grow at scale program. So how are we going to start? Then what will it look like 3 to 5 years from now? And then where will you want to be in 10 years so that you're not an antiquated facility 10 years from now, like many of the facilities that we see on a day-to-day basis are. I remember, when I first got into this industry, I think I'm 4 years in now, a 1 to 5 megawatt facility, that was considered a good size facility. It wasn't huge, but it was a good size facility. That's like what we're calling like small scale micro, or even like what the old definition of edge was. Edge has evolved, right? So edge was like, it's a small facility or it's an unmanned facility or it's run lights. No, edge is wherever the network connects to an origin or destination of data, regardless of location or size.
Yeah.
So Now we're seeing edge deployments that are actually like a node, in a country where we're putting these things strategically located around a power source, and then being able to supply that, the fiber connectivity and that infrastructure in to be able to support whatever that deployment is at scale. Those are the kinds of things that we're seeing within the digital economy as it changes. And it's not happening at a company level. We're seeing it at a country level.
Yeah.
Nations are starting to take a heavier handed approach in how they're going to deploy at scale.
A brilliant answer to that very, what I thought was a
I'm
very
not the
simple.
smartest guy in the room, but I try.
I thought it was a very simple question. I'm like, oh, is this oversimplification? And then thank
But
you.
it's not an oversimplified question. It's the way that we've got to start thinking. We backed ourselves into a corner to get to where we are right now, right? And and we're going to talk about human capital deficit. We backed ourselves in a corner with that. We've got to start thinking. It's critical when we certify a deployment. I'll go back to IDCA for 1 second. When we certify someone, we're not just looking at one piece. Like, it's great if you're resilient and redundant, right? It's great if you have a sustainability initiative. It's great if you have a heat reuse program. All these things are great. But those individual components in and of themselves, just one piece of that is not enough. I'll give you an example. If you're fully fault tolerant and redundant, and you've got a facility that as soon as the power shuts off from the grid, your automatic transfer switch kicks on and you're operational, that's great. But if your PUE is 1.6 or 1.8 and your energy efficiency is in the garbage, you are not, I got news for you, you're not excellent. You are not great. What we do is when we look at all of these things, we look at 7 layers of efficacy. We don't just look at each one of these components and assess it and stop, which is a huge problem in this industry right now. We then go back and correlate each one of those to say, how does your sustainability initiative affect your PUE? How does your overall resiliency and redundancy position affect your sustainability initiative? And we look at whether one thing is positively promoting that within or it's negatively impacting you within. That is what we're doing within the global digital economy now. And that is the change that must be made. It's not enough to just look at one grain of sand on the beach. You've got to look at the beach and the ocean together.
Fantastic analogy. You spoke on a panel yesterday on nuclear. I want to get to that. Tell us about the panel. Tell us in a couple of words, kind of like the big takeaway, the sexy takeaway from that panel.
I don't even.
Other than you being the sexy takeaway.
Let's get real with it, right? I mean, I'm the eye candy in this one.
It's true.
It's pretty sad when I'm the eye candy in the data center industry. So I have been, as you know, I've been traveling around with Brian Smith, Department of Energy, Idaho National Labs, my good friend, and we've been doing the Mark and Brian show, the Brian and Mark show, depending on how you look at it, and just kind of spreading the word about nuclear and demystifying that. Unfortunately, Brian couldn't make it. He had to be at the White House, so he was going to be on the panel. We had Mina Siddiqui from Irati Power. We had gentlemen from Texas Nuclear Alliance. We had Brian Gitt from Oklo. So you got these people that are all coming from just a slightly different walk of life, right? So it was great to have a panel set up like that. We covered a lot of ground on the regulatory compliance issues that we're seeing. NRC historically has had a bad name, that they're the pinch point in this whole thing. And the NRC is the reason that we're not deploying. That is not the reason that we're not deploying as fast as we should have. We have had a 2-decade deficit in having a commercial power deployment. There's literally been 2 deployments in 20 years. And other countries, China, Russia, France, they're deploying faster than we are. But the thing that we have to keep in perspective with all this is we have never stopped researching. So the national laboratory system within the United States has never taken the foot off the gas for the research piece of it. Yes, we're behind on deployment, but we're getting there. We're catching up. And the best way that we can do that is to have a really good solution for bridging power as a first scenario. And in the United States, bridging power really looks like natural gas. I see, over there, we got the Yenbacher folks in their booth. I'm doing a lot of work with them just to try and get alignment so that when people have a natural gas deployment and then they bring on a nuclear deployment, they can pivot right back to the natural gas deployment as their backup power instead of having to rely on diesel, right? So that's kind of where we're at on trying to get this thing moved, and you got to do it fast. The other thing that I've been doing a lot of is spending time with like the DOE and going to the ANS summits, American Nuclear Society summits. Brian's coming, Brian Smith is coming to all these events in digital infrastructure, but now I'm having the chance to go to the nuclear summits and listen to what's going on out there. the message that's coming out, which is really crazy, they're talking about AI. And they're having events like we are with all these headliners around. What are we going to do next with AI? What's AI look like? How are we going to build? How are we going to grow? The topics are exactly the same. But when you go and you sit in a room and you listen to people talk about these things, we talk about how are we going to deploy AI at scale from an infrastructure standpoint?
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to put in liquid cooling? Where are we going to get the construction materials? Where are we going to get the people to run this? Where are we going to put the building? How are we going to cool? They're talking about it from when we get an AI deployment, how are we going to use it for, can we do nuclear research with it?
Yeah.
Can we write legal briefs with it? They're only looking at it from the use case scenario right now. So I come in and I'm like, this is great that you guys want it. You got to get me power before I can give it to you.
Yeah.
Like, I get that you're excited to be using AI, but before you can use it, we got to build it. Our industry has to build it for you. You got to give me power. Like, boy, we didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't run on unicorn farts, right? Like, it doesn't.
What? You heard it here first. No unicorn farts.
The AI deployments don't run on unicorn farts or Lucky Charms cereal, So getting on the same page from a conversation standpoint is important, because you could be living in a vacuum and think, oh yeah, the nuclear industry knows exactly what we're going to be doing with this, and they know exactly what all the problems are.
Yeah.
They're thinking about it from how are we going to use it. We're thinking about how are we going to deploy it. Until we deploy it, they can't use it. So having that conversation of a nuclear industry, you need to be thinking about natural gas as a bridging solution to help me get to the nuclear position so I can get your AI.
So many things to be thinking about. And to your point, as soon as everybody gets on the same page, that page turns. And there's going to be a day when that page is going to turn and you and I are going to be retired somewhere. Hopefully, having a beverage on a beach.
Well,
We will have gone to Turkey. We will have gotten things taken care of. But my point is, let's talk about your work with the Nomad Futurists, and specifically kind of the next generation of thought leaders and solution finders like yourself. Yeah. Where are they coming from?
Yeah, great question. Workforce deficit, we're talking about this ad nauseum. When I came in the industry, it was like 300,000, skilled labor jobs were going to be needed by 2030. I think now the number last I heard was like 440,000 needed by 2030. So we shortened a couple of years. We still have more.
Yeah.
Like, we're not making up for it. It's a huge problem not being able to have it. The nuclear industry, I mentioned this when we were talking before, the nuclear industry has the same problem, by the way, that it takes a more skilled, more attentive kind of person when they're coming out of their schooling to be able to work within an engineering mindset or have a nuclear engineering degree. But then there's also skilled trades in maintenance, facilities maintenance, operational procedures, et cetera. So there's a problem on both sides, on the power side and the digital infrastructure side. At Nomad, we're really focusing on the digital infrastructure side of that, but also in the skilled labor side. So that could then translate to power, which I really like, that we can go down that path. Right now, we've got the educational modules that are out. People can take that. The world can take that. So www.nomadfuturist.org is our website. You can go on there. You can access our academy. You can take courses within the academy free of charge to everybody on the planet. You have full access to that. Be able to utilize that and get your start. Have a level of understanding. This is a great thing for parents in the industry who have kids that want to know what mom and dad do.
Yeah.
What is it going to mean for them? What can they do after college? I mean, geez, and we can talk about it. You talk about your background.
Yeah.
I come into this with a degree in theater and acting and English writing arts, and your degree was in
theater and journalism.
So, and here we are. Well, I mean, you're a little closer to than I am.
It's all an act.
But this is all fake. But how did I end up here, right? So I go from my college transition, and I did some commercial work and stuff, but I really didn't just dig in on that. But the English degree really helped. And, I was passionate about wanting to work with people. So I was able to parlay all that. And I think it's important that it's not necessarily what you're going to go to college for,
right?
Or if you're going to go
to the industry found us.
Correct.
Yeah.
The industry found me. And once the industry found me, this is my favorite part about that. I don't think I've ever talked about this. This might be a little epiphany moment on JSA TV. Once I was in the industry, this industry allowed me to do whatever I want. Once I cut apron strings off and I said, what does Mark Gusikov want to do in this industry? I traveled the entire world, totally self-funded, figured out what I wanted to do in this space. And then the industry let me do it. everyone was very open and accommodating. I had energy. People saw the energy. They grabbed it. They used it in other places. I think that's one of our strongest suits, that we are welcoming, we're accepting, and we're intelligent enough to know when we see good resources out there, we're going to grab it. Nomad Futurist is great at that as well. I did a lot of nonprofit work with Nomad when I was just kind of doing my search for what did I want to do in the industry. And I owe Nabil and Phil a lot for that, for being able to support that journey, that search. And now that we're in it, we're growing like crazy. We've got great research. Brian Jabek and I are working on a Maleva Fund. So Maleva Fund is a fund that was started by Codis Holdings, which is the Kokel brothers. You got Michael, Anthony, and Gregory Kokel put a significant cash infusion into a fund to help support people who are coming into the industry from high schools, colleges, postgraduate, to be able to get them resources that if they don't have it, that's not going to be necessarily a problem for them. It's not unlimited, so we need help. So contribute to the Maleva Fund. There's my shameless plug for the day. But as Brian Jabek and I are sort of managing to that, we're also doing other things in the community to do local outreach in places like Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, Denver, Colorado, Dallas, Texas, to be able to prop up those emerging markets that are sort of growing within the space, and get young people aware that we exist. I think it's super important.
I love the work that you and the Nomad Futurists are doing. Obviously, you're doing good work and all of your various ventures that you have going on right now. That is all the time we have, Mark. It is always a pleasure.
Thanks. I think I'm going to go take a nap now. But thank you.
I may need one as well. Thanks, Mark.
So good to see you.
It's good to see you too. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you very soon.
Let's go ahead and head to Austin, Texas, where Blueprint Data Centers is helping to fuel the region's rapid tech growth with 85 megawatts of new capacity across facilities in Taylor and Georgetown.
That's right. The Taylor data center, ideally situated a mere 5 minutes from Samsung's colossal $44 billion chip fabrication complex. I think I got that. 44 billion is difficult for me to say. Chip fabrication complex will deliver 60 megawatts of power, while the Georgetown site adds 25 megawatts. Both locations offer attractive economic incentives, including a decade-long 50% property tax abatement, further highlighting Austin's appeal as a primary destination for digital growth. Folks, that is what the edge is defined as. When you can put it right next to a $44 billion $44 billion facility of Samsung, that's as close to the edge as it gets.
No, it's incredible. And I also, the story under that story is how great it is when governments and states really draw this type of industry, our industry, in, recognize that we are the source of the future for AI adoption. So, so excited about that story in many levels. Okay, finally in this segment, T5 data centers. We've got to talk about them, guys. They are teaming up with Bitfarms to support their HPC and AI expansion at the Panther Creek campus, again, Pennsylvania.
That's it. As Bitfarm accelerates its AI strategy, T5 will support pre-construction design, planning, and development approvals for the facility, bringing decades of experience in data center design, construction, and operations to the table.
Incredible momentum across the board. This is a great time to be on our industry. And as always, guys, it's also about the people behind these deals who make this magic happen. So let's go on to our new segment, Movers and Shakers. I'm gonna insert some music there. Yeah, okay. All right, let's kick things off with Radius DC CEO Mike Kurza, who's set to take the stage at Datacloud USA Metro Connect Fall 2025 in Austin. Coming up fast. He'll be joined by a number of industry shakers, by the way, including our friend DFI CEO Scott Bergs.
That's right, Jay. Mike and Scott will join leaders from Meta, you may have heard of them, Beal Infrastructure, and OCI on the panel. Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. And we are coming at you live. That's right, we are live, Dave.
Oh, no.
From Datacloud USA, co-located with Metro Connect in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas. And this good-looking guy to my right is Mr. Dave Campice. Dave is the Vice President of Carrier Sales at Segra. Dave, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you for having me, Dean. Appreciate it.
Of course. Appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
How's the show going for you?
Fantastic. Been a lot of really good panels. You know, I made this comment yesterday on a panel that I just say what we do for the industry at Segra, you know, while vitally important fiber infrastructure isn't rocket science. I've changed that now. It's not quantum computing, right?
Smart. That's a good call. Good call.
So, but yeah, no, it's been a good show.
Okay, so I'm already going to go off script because you are maybe the fourth or fifth person who, in the conversation, immediately mentioned fiber.
Yeah.
Now, 10 years ago, we were talking about fiber all the time. Maybe even longer, 10, 15 years ago, we were talking about fiber all the time. The buzzword du jour lately, though, has been like power and
space,
cooling and water and resource use and all that. But you are now, again, the fourth or fifth person to mention fiber in that same conversation. And so that's what I really want to be talking about. I know that you've got a lot of really cool things to talk about too, and we're going to get to those things first, but we are going to talk a little bit about fiber too.
Fiber is my love language. So
yeah, and as kind of an old school telecom guy, fiber is kind of, you know, and the networks, that network infrastructure, kind of my love language as well. So we're going to talk about that. But first, some exciting news coming out of your newsroom, right?
Yeah. We just had a press release yesterday. You know, the Myrtle Beach Cable Landing Station is in our footprint. However, we have just released a press release yesterday about a new network deployment we're doing that is a 400, 800 gig capable route, direct inland. It's the only direct inland route from the Myrtle Beach Cable Landing Station that comes back to our network in Charlotte, where we already have an express core network set up for that high capacity bandwidth. So this provides a new, very unique route out of that location to serve the subsea community as well as the hyperscale community. Low latency, direct path, direct inland, no coastline exposure for hurricanes and all the bad weather coming through. And it really complements what DC Blocks already has in place there. So it's going to a really nice partnership in making that happen.
We love DC Blocks as well for what that's worth. So congratulations on that. I want to talk about why that's important in just a moment.
Sure.
But any other initiatives, anything that our audience might be interested in?
Yeah. So since I last talked with you at PTC, we had completed a really large network investment into our Mid-Atlantic and Southeast networks. Think Ashburn to Atlanta and everything in between has been optimized and enhanced for greater bandwidth capabilities and higher protection. So a lot of investment went into that, and that's been completed. We are owned by Cox Communications.
Heard of them?
And they're little bit, right? You know,
Yeah, yeah,
they've been around.
yeah,
And their national backbone is also being optimized for 400 gig, and we are creating on-ramps for the Segra network as well, so we can more efficiently serve the entire telecommunications community from coast to coast. So that's really exciting too.
yeah. I love the fact that you just said telecommunications community because that still exists.
It does. It's not, you know, AI is a big name,
Yeah.
hyperscale is a big name, but it's telecommunications, right?
Yeah, no,
And fiber infrastructure.
and fiber infrastructure. So you said AI and fiber infrastructure in the same sentence, and that's what I really want to talk
Let's
about.
go for it.
Yeah, let's do it. So, and I am not an engineer. I will never profess to be an engineer, but as I understand it, and my good friend Scott Bergs just mentioned, he's just like a data center without fiber is just a really hot warehouse.
I can't say it any better than that.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, where the data centers are being, like we're doing data center connectivity for a lot of the big companies, pretty much all of them that are within the urban setting,
Mhm.
that are urban adjacent and rural.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, they've got to put them where there is available land and power and cooling capability. To be able to build power where there is existing fiber network costs a whole lot more than to build fiber to where the data center is going.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, I mean that to me is absolutely critical, and now it is nice to hear fiber being part of that conversation. And you know, when we're talking about AI, the fact that without those fiber connections and that those really robust synchronous connections, the learning models ain't learning a thing.
no, it's a big dumb hot warehouse.
Yeah, big dumb hot warehouse. Thank you. Okay, Dave, always a pleasure. Your final thoughts? How about a prediction in the industry?
Man, you know, had you asked me to predict where we are today 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been at this scale.
That's what makes the question fun,
right? I would not have been at this scale. And the amount of fiber, the amount of infrastructure that we're designing, engineering, deploying, delivering for all these projects, I think will just continually to get bigger and will expand further out. And you know, it's incumbent on us, the service providers, the fiber network infrastructure providers, network operators, to look at each of these opportunities and make sure it makes sense for what we're doing. I heard it said, you know, just because you can build it doesn't necessarily mean you should build it.
Mm-hmm.
And so while we want to support the ever expanding growth of this data center community and where these are being put, we all need to make sure we're doing it responsibly. And because the last thing we need is for you know, those of us who are network operators to overextend ourselves. But
Yeah,
man, I'm all in. If it makes sense, I'm in.
I believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it. Dave, thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. Great to see you again.
You as well.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon. Let's go.
Go ahead and head to Austin, Texas, where Blueprint Data Centers is helping to fuel the region's rapid tech growth with 85 megawatts of new capacity across facilities in Taylor and Georgetown.
That's right, the Taylor data center, ideally situated a mere 5 minutes from Samsung's colossal $44 billion or $44 billion chip fabrication complex. I think I got that. 44 billion is difficult for me to say. Chip fabrication complex will deliver 60 megawatts of power, while the Georgetown site adds 25 megawatts. Both locations offer attractive economic incentives, including a decade-long 50% property tax abatement, further highlighting Austin's appeal as a primary destination for digital growth. Folks, that is what the edge is defined as. When you can put it right next to a $44 billion or $44 billion facility of Samsung, that's as close to the edge as it gets.
No, it's incredible. And I also, the story under that story is how great it is when governments and states really draw this type of industry, our industry, in, recognize that we are the source of the future for AI adoption. So, so excited about that story in many levels. Okay, finally in this segment, T5 data centers. We've got to talk about them, guys. They are teaming up with Bitfarms to support their HPC and AI expansion at the Panther Creek campus, again, Pennsylvania.
That's it. As Bitfarm accelerates its AI strategy, T5 will support pre-construction design, planning, and development approvals for the facility, bringing decades of experience in data center design, construction, and operations to the table.
Incredible momentum across the board. This is a great time to be on our industry. And as always, guys, it's also about the people behind these deals who make this magic happen. So let's go on to our new segment, Movers and Shakers. I'm going to insert some music there. Yeah, okay. All right, let's kick things off with Radius DC CEO Mike Kurza, who's set to take the stage at Datacloud USA Metro Connect Fall 2025 in Austin. Coming up fast. He'll be joined by a number of industry shakers, by the way, including our friend DFI CEO Scott Bergs.
That's right, Jay. Mike and Scott will join leaders from Meta, you may have heard of them, Beal Infrastructure, and OCI on the panel about accelerating go live dates. I feel like our entire fast forward is about accelerating go live right now.
Let's go. Also, Vivacity Infrastructure Group, we need to talk about them. They are also strengthening their team. They have appointed Ben Poisky as Director of Partnership and Business Development.
That's right. Polsky, I think that I got his name pronunciation right, will lead growth efforts across data centers, hyperscalers, DOT, I believe that's Department of Transportation, and utilities, helping Vivacity expand its reach in critical network infrastructure solutions.
Yeah. And, just reading that, seeing that, hearing that, data centers, hyperscalers, DOT, utilities. Yeah. I mean, this world, if it's not interconnected enough, I mean, just to hear the impact of our industry, like layering up, in our infrastructure, nationally, regionally, farm to farm connections, and then also globally, like a global ecosystem, one global economy. I mean, it's incredible. Sorry.
Yes.
All
No,
right.
that's cool. Yeah.
Moving back, sorry, had a moment, but I also wanted to do a quick shout out to Trangistics, who has launched a newly redesigned website.
That's
Have you
right.
seen it?
Yeah, no, websites are a big deal. I mean, as you have been telling me for the better part of the last 25 years, it's the 24-hour sales tool. So congratulations to Trangistics. The refresh enhances navigation and better showcases their logistics and transportation services, including for the growing digital infrastructure sector. Again, the sector touches everywhere. Trangistics, logistics, all of these ancillary industries kind of coming together to make it all happen.
I mean, you feel it, right? This
Absolutely.
and I always talk about good begetting more good, this powerful upcycle, and I feel like our industry is in one, and it's pretty magical, pretty powerful stuff. All right, guys, before we go, let's not forget that it is September to remember, y'all. Fall conference season is here. JSA will be there right by your side, helping you out at these key events. We are on ground at PTC DC in Washington, DC, just next week. And then you'll find us broadcasting live, JSA TV Live specifically, from YADA, which if you don't know about YADA yet, you're missing it. YADA, check it out. YADA Las Vegas following week. And then Datacloud USA in Austin and DCD Connect London right after.
That was a mouthful, Jay. There's a lot going on. Plenty of opportunities to catch the JSA TV crew in action, including yours truly at Datacloud USA there in Austin in just 2 weeks from now.
Let's go. Speaking of big names, XKL founder and CEO, and an overall good guy, I want to say, Len Bozak, will be delivering keynote at NANOG 95 entitled The IP Takeover is Almost Complete. Interesting.
Almost, parenthetically, right? Len will dig into how the WAN is evolving beyond any single access technology shaped by Wi-Fi, 5G, and satellite. You can expect a mix of historical perspective, and he's got lots of that, and forward-looking insights. He's got a ton of that as well from Len, to be sure. So definitely a keynote you want to check out at NANOG.
Absolutely. And congratulations also in order for Dart Points, who has landed on the Inc. 5000 list for the third consecutive year, y'all, this time breaking into the top 30 in the telecom sector. That's huge. Well done, Dart Points. Yay.
It's a recognition of Dart Points' steady growth in regional markets and a clear sign of their growing position in the digital infrastructure space. As if all of the mentions on Fast Forward weren't also a clear sign of their ascension, right?
I mean, they are incredible and incredible people. Again, this is the people that are delivering in our industry, the movers and shakers. And I have to just slightly heavy-handed perhaps kind of slide in that, speaking of honors, JSA, our family here, has something to celebrate.
That's right. And I get to be the one to drop this news, and I'm so excited about it. JSA has been named to the Inc. 5000 for the 5th That's right. Fifth consecutive year joining elite 3.6% of companies that have sustained this level of growth for 5 or more years. Congratulations, Captain. We did it again.
We did it. Family hug, group hug. All right. And also, we should say our advisory board has also been expanding. We are so proud to announce that JSA is welcoming Bill Clayman and Melissa Farney, two respected voices in sustainability and AI, to our advisory board. So, yay.
Yeah. Their real-time insights from across the digital stack will keep JSA plugged directly into the trends shaping clients' business decisions for many years to come. And when we talk about great people, those are two of the finest right there.
I love them. I do.
Me too.
All right, guys, on the leadership front as well, Valor C3 Data Centers has appointed Carter Groves as CFO.
That's very cool. Groves brings deep expertise in infrastructure investment and operations, and he steps in as Valor C3 ramps up its national footprint and a new 10 megawatt facility in Boise.
Yeah, they are one to watch, guys. Valor C3, new brand, but you know these guys, Valor C3. Let's go. Guys, let's start with a truly global play. Leia Data Centers has signed a landmark MOU with the city of Rio de Janeiro and Oracle to transform the city's Olympic Park into Rio AI City, the largest data center hub in Latin America.
Yeah, and I don't mind saying it, but this is pretty damn cool stuff that they have going over there. It's very cool. The project is designed to deliver 1.5 gigawatts of capacity by 2027. That's a few short years from now. Up to 3.2 gigawatts by 2032. And get this, Jamie, you're going to love it. It's 100% powered by clean energy, which is very cool. Bold vision positioning Rio as a top 10 global digital hub and a magnet for international investment. I should say so.
Oh, goodness, I love that story. There's so much about that story I love. Well done. Okay, next, back here in the US, guys, LightPath is extending its AI-grade fiber network into eastern Pennsylvania.
That's right. They are building 130 route miles of underground high-capacity fiber designed to connect the growing hyperscale data center ecosystem in the Susquehanna Valley. I think I said that right.
Nice, you did.
Yeah. Thank you very much. The region's unique power infrastructure is drawing premier AI players, and LightPath is making sure the connectivity is there to match. Connectivity that Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. And we are coming at you live. That's right, we are live right now. No pressure. We are live right now at the where are we? We're at the Datacloud USA, co-located with Metro Connect in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas, home of the Longhorns, right? I think that's the Longhorns. It is the state capital, and from what I understand, the motto is keeping it weird. in Austin. So we're gonna go ahead and keep it weird for this interview. Are you good with that?
You invited the right guest.
Outstanding. And the right weird guest to my right is Mr. John Tomlinson. John is the market lead of data center development at Broadus and Associates. John, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you for having me, Dean. I appreciate it.
You bet. I appreciate your being here. Great jacket, by the way.
Oh, nice.
You're
just trying to keep up with you.
You're very welcome, and thank you very much. John, for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them about Broadus and Associates?
Yes, of course. So Broadus and Associates is a owner's rep construction management firm. We have 25 years experience in the mission critical space, mainly with healthcare construction. Mm-hmm. And myself and a few others have collectively started a data center division within our firm. So we're pursuing that work, hence being here and talking to you. So we're excited.
I'm excited too because not a lot of people. You look like a younger person. So I'm going off script already, John. Hopefully you won't hate me for this.
I'm comfortable.
Okay, very very good. So you decided to start a data center division within your company. Why? And the answer seems obvious to me, but why don't you tell our viewers why?
Because I've worked with Broadus in the past. I knew the caliber of people that they had and the technical expertise.
Yeah.
And the market here in Texas is amazing. We're a Texas-based firm, so it seems too easy of a low-hanging fruit to not pursue this type of work with our experience and culture. So yeah, that's really it. And we're excited to be going in the space.
Well, we're excited to have you in the space because it's there's a lot going on here, as you might have guessed from just walking around the show floor. But you mentioned experience, 25 years of experience, and I think this is your 25th year.
That is correct. Yes.
Congratulations. So tell us about those 25 years. Tell us about what it. How does a company like yours stay successful for 25 years? I also am a big fan of the fact that it has been in the healthcare industry and those mission critical, that infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the lessons learned that we've seen as we've built this new division, Dean, is that our healthcare experience, to what you're mentioning, has not only helped us from a technical expertise, but also from a vendors and partner standpoint. The market is extremely saturated.
Yeah.
And we're all trying to get things done and get them done quickly. And our experience and partners go outside of the traditional data center scope, so we can bring those partners in who are happy to join this industry as well.
Yeah.
And get work done. And our clients are really happy with the fact that we can tap into a whole new resource pool. So that's one of the biggest things that we've learned. I don't have the full 25 years under me with the firm, but I can say from the technical expertise, that's really it. And then also another thing I want to mention is, as a veteran-owned small business, we have access to a whole different type of talent pool, which a lot of people are doing, but it's really important to mention that we're advocates for that and we're bringing people in. I didn't serve myself, but I love the option and the ability to bring those people into this industry and promote that. And also just learning from them. It helps me give a little bit more structure to myself.
I get that. And the leadership, I mean, the 25 years of experience is one thing, but to have that kind of leadership as a founding principle of the company, that probably is a pretty good reason why they have been so successful for the last 25 years as well. And you also mentioned with healthcare and the healthcare, your focus on healthcare and the resources that you built around that made it a logical kind of entry into the data center space. What I find fascinating the most about that is that it is the data center space that is kind of going to amplify kind of the next generation of what those healthcare facilities can do and what they look like and the miracles that happen within those healthcare facilities. So this is good work. I'm loving everything that you're saying right now.
Truly, we're supporting a very well-known client in Houston from the healthcare side, and I like to joke with that team that we're building 3 closets for them at 15 megawatts versus the extending.
That's a hot closet.
Project. Absolutely, and it's big work, but that experience is just so key to our success in the other markets, the 100+ megawatts that we're seeing. And then I love your point about just the technology and what's going on there. And those firms, those enterprises are super excited about what they can do.
Yeah.
We're seeing liquid cooling in those small deployments as well, which is super fun just to put your eyes on, much less deploy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the first time I saw it, I was just like, oh, hell, that's how this works. This is fascinating stuff, you know?
Why not put water on top of electronics?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's put the electronics inside the water. Let's just do that. You know, I'm going to spill coffee on my laptop when I get home, but it's not going to cool the laptop at all.
Oh, I do that on purpose when I get out of work.
You're like, look how technology works. Yeah. Okay. Last question. Okay. So as a relatively new entrant, obviously it's a relatively big learning curve. There are myriad ancillary players just in this room alone. For our viewers, why don't you tell them a little bit about kind of like what the big lesson was for you once you kind of made that entry into the data center space?
Yeah, absolutely, Dean. And this is something I'm passionate about. I love the learning. I love the openness of this industry. Just looking around, it's very welcoming.
It is.
But I would encourage people to get involved. It's a very much in-person industry. So 7x24 has been a really good outlet for me. iMasons, Nomad Futurists, all the big names.
All friends of JSA TV.
All friends that we know. But those that are looking into this industry, I invite you to get involved. Attending conferences is key as well. It's a very in-person networking event, but also there's some great books out there and other resources, Data Center Dynamics. I've done some certifications through, now I'm spacing, IDCA.
Okay, we just had the CCO of the IDCA in that seat 2 guests ago.
Oh, well, maybe that's why it just came to me so easily.
Yeah, the vibe is there.
Absolutely. And then there are really great podcasts out there as well. You're going to travel a lot in this industry. Probably.
Yeah.
And so podcasts are key. Data Center Revolution is a great one by Kirk. Beyond the Megawatt, what Mara and Valerie are doing there is great.
I hope you're all getting this, because this is the first time anybody has ever mentioned any of this on JSA TV. Go ahead, John. That's great.
Wow. And first timer. So why am I nervous?
Yeah, you should not be nervous about this at all. But that's right. The resources are. I mean, back when I started in the industry a long time ago, not longer than you.
We won't date you.
Thank you very much. But we had the telecom dictionary. We referred it as the telecom Bible, because it had all the acronyms that we needed to memorize in it. But now there are so many more resources, to your point. And so for young people, that like next generation workforce people like yourself who come in, they have those resources. They're using those resources. They're building new resources for new entrants just like you. I mean, it's a great, very symbiotic kind of relationship that folks like you have with the relationship, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one book I do want to call out is Carrie's book, Jumpstart Your Career in Data Centers. Super helpful. We actually leverage that as some supplemental onboarding for our PMs. And Carrie's great to meet with. She's very open to that, which is another thing I love about this industry is you ask for support. There's a whole language to the acronyms that I'm still very much trying to decipher myself. Send me that dictionary you're mentioning.
I will, but it's probably out of date by now.
Fair enough. But Carrie's book is another great resource that we leverage constantly.
That's fantastic. The industry needs more people like you, John. So go out there and start recruiting, start shopping around, get them in here. So, but at any rate, we appreciate you and the work that you're doing. And Broadus and Associates, congratulations on 25 years. Feels like it's going to be a real good next 25 years for you as well.
Awesome. I appreciate that, Dean.
All right,
Thank
John.
you.
Thank you. And thank you, viewers, for hanging out with us on JSA TV here at Datacloud USA Metro Connect. We'll see you soon.
Let's go ahead and head to Austin, Texas, where Blueprint Data Centers is helping to fuel the region's rapid tech growth with 85 megawatts of new capacity across facilities in Taylor and Georgetown.
That's right, the Taylor data center, ideally situated a mere 5 minutes from Samsung's colossal $44 billion $44 billion chip fabrication complex. I think I got that. 44 billion is difficult for me to say. Chip fabrication complex will deliver 60 megawatts of power, while the Georgetown site adds 25 megawatts. Both locations offer attractive economic incentives, including a decade-long 50% property tax abatement, further highlighting Austin's appeal as a primary destination for digital growth. Folks, that is what the edge is defined as. When you can put it right next to a $44 billion or $44 billion facility of Samsung, that's as close to the edge as it gets.
No, it's incredible. And I also, the story under that story is how great it is when governments and states really draw this type of industry, our industry, in, recognize.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, stories, and trends from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. And we are coming at you live. That's right, we are live, Keith.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Thanks, Dean.
You bet, you bet. We are live at Datacloud, USA, co-located with Metro Connect in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas, home of the Longhorns, the state capital of Texas. And from what I understand, the motto is keeping it weird. Let's keep it weird, Austin.
I guess so.
So
it's Austin. Let's
so
stay weird.
Let's go ahead and stay weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of weird, this guy on my right is Keith Klessner. Keith is the VP of Development at Radius DC. Keith, welcome to your first JSA TV.
Well, thanks for having me, Dean. It's exciting to be here and excited to share what's going on or what we're hearing about at Datacloud and what Radius DC is up to.
So let's start with Datacloud then.
Yep.
What's going on here? What's going on with the show?
Oh my gosh, attendance seems up over years past.
It is,
and the energy's high, and you can tell there's a lot of new folks in the industry, and then there's a lot of new, very large scale projects that people are talking about. So it's pretty exciting.
That's precisely what I'm seeing here. And look, it was a great event last year.
Yeah.
I would say there are twice as many people in the exhibit hall right now as I saw last year.
Yeah.
Again, the event last year, very good, but it's amped up a little bit.
It's amped up, and you can tell the digital infrastructure space is growing, and interest level is high. Investors are very interested, and so everyone's here to talk about it. And a
lot of money in the industry and a lot of ancillary players that are helping to make those big installations happen on the digital infrastructure side. But speaking of digital infrastructure, let's talk about Radius DC.
Yeah.
For our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about Radius DC?
Yeah, Radius Data Centers is a edge-connected data center platform. So we're focused on the core network edge, and that means actually not these very large, huge data centers, but something smaller that fits within an urban or semi-urban environment to really grow a connectivity ecosystem in these metros that are underserved. So the big markets all have pretty good infrastructure, but we're finding a lot of these tier 2, tier 3 markets, they're void of capacity, and our hyperscale customers really need it there. So that's what Radius DC is up to, and that's what I'm up to.
So yeah, you saw the need and you're filling the need.
Yep, exactly. And I'm excited. We just launched our a groundbreaking at our new Nashville site last week, and we're kicking off a 12 megawatt new product that can essentially support those hyperscale customers. And we're going to be the largest and newest data center in Nashville, right? It's an example of a market that has a ton of eyeballs and a growing economy and a growing region. And we're there to serve that need.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. Keith, you sound like somebody who has been in the industry for 50 years, but I know something that other people may not know, and that is you just got hired at Radius DC.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That's right, Dean. Thanks. Yeah, I recently joined Radius Data Centers just in June. So, previous to that, I worked at a provider. And then previous to that, I was fortunate enough to work in Microsoft and really plan our Azure strategy. So I've been fortunate. And then, along the way prior to that, to be in the space. And I'm excited to be at Radius Data Centers because we're really addressing some areas of huge need in the market. So where there's a lot of focus here at the event and in the investment space on these mega campuses, but essentially those mega campuses all need a place to connect and back to users and to population and to businesses. So.
Very good, and welcome to to this specific piece of the industry. We're glad to have you. Final question. The demand for clearly the demand for data centers is not going anywhere, and it comes in all sorts of flavors and sizes and proxemics to and away from population areas and stuff like that. But as far as demand goes, where does Radius DC fit in terms of filling that void for that demand?
Yeah, no, I see we're going to grow significantly, just like many in the space, right? So we're going to go and grow into new metros that really are devoid of that capacity that I was talking about. So I think that to really think that demand curve is obviously growing from classic commercial cloud. My old days at a big cloud provider, but then also, of course, the AI demand, and the AI demand is real, and we haven't even seen it totally hit the edge yet. There's a lot of theories that inference will essentially land inside cities, right? So right now it's these huge, very large campuses where there's a ton of growth and training is underway, large language models. But at some point, and we're getting to that point, we believe, and we're starting to hear some signals that inference will start to be distributed more. And that's one of those areas where we're going to support that part of the growth model. And Radius DC as a platform is well positioned for that.
Yeah, I mean, because that does not happen without that connectivity. That does not happen unless you have Radius DC in these other markets.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're right now just in 3 markets, Nashville, Denver, and Miami. But I'm excited. I think we'll be able to share early in 2026 a bunch of new markets that we're growing into. And that's part of our platform. And we're part of the Blue Owl Digital Infrastructure umbrella. And we're excited to go serve our customers in these new markets and obviously support that investment in digital infrastructure.
I've spoke now to a couple of the Blue Owl kind of team of companies, and you all are exciting. It's a very exciting time to be a part of kind of that organization.
It is. I'm really excited to be part of a Blue Owl org. They really understand infrastructure. They understand the investment cycle and the real need. And when there's opportunity, they're super supportive. So Radius DC is super fortunate to be part of that umbrella, and I think we're going to look forward to sharing more as we continue to grow.
Let's do this again in 2026, shall we?
I love it. I love it, Dean.
All right,
let's go for it.
You bet. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
Let's go. Go ahead and head to Austin, Texas, where Blueprint Data Centers is helping to fuel the region's rapid tech growth with 85 megawatts of new capacity across facilities in Taylor and Georgetown.
That's right, the Taylor data center, ideally situated a mere 5 minutes from Samsung's colossal $44 billion or $44 billion chip fabrication complex. I think I got that. 44 billion is difficult for me to say. Chip fabrication complex will deliver 60 megawatts of power, while the Georgetown site adds 25 megawatts. Both locations offer attractive economic incentives, including a decade-long 50% property tax abatement, further highlighting Austin's appeal as a primary destination for digital growth. Folks, that is what the edge is defined as. When you can put it right next to a $44 billion or $44 billion facility of Samsung, that's as close to the edge as it gets.
No, it's incredible. And I also, the story under that story is how great it is when governments and states really draw this type of industry, our industry, in, recognize that we are the source of the future for AI adoption. So, so excited about that story in many levels. Okay, finally in this segment, T5 data centers. We've got to talk about them, guys. They are teaming up with Bitfarms to support their HPC and AI expansion at the Panther Creek campus, again, Pennsylvania.
That's it. As Bitfarm accelerates its AI strategy, T5 will support pre-construction design, planning, and development approvals for the facility, bringing decades of experience in data center design, construction, and operations to the table.
Incredible momentum across the board. This is a great time to be in our industry. And as always, guys, it's also about the people behind these deals who make this magic happen. So let's go on to our new segment, Movers and Shakers. I'm going to insert some music there. Yeah, okay. All right, let's kick things off with Radius DC CEO Mike Kurza, who's set to take the stage at Datacloud USA Metro Connect Fall 2025 in Austin. Coming up fast. He'll be joined by a number of industry shakers, by the way, including our friend DFI CEO Scott Bergs.
That's right, Jay. Mike and Scott will join leaders from Meta, you may have heard of them, Beal Infrastructure, and OCI on the panel about accelerating go live dates. I feel like our entire fast forward is about accelerating go live right now. Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, stories, and trends from within the digital infrastructure industry. And we are coming at you from Datacloud USA, co-located with Metro Connect in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas. And this good-looking guy next to me is British billionaire industrialist, chairman and founder, CEO of Langley Holdings, Anthony Langley. Anthony, what are you doing here?
Good morning, Dean.
Good morning, sir.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Well, you know, there's a lot going off in this space right now, and
Yes.
you know, this is like the California gold rush. What's happening in with AI and with the explosion in data centers
Yes.
and stuff, and I just kind of need to be here to see what's see what's real and what's not real.
Yeah,
And how does it affect our group?
I love it. I love it. So let's start with what's real. What's real?
Okay. Well, there's what's real is that there's a lack of power for data centers.
Uh-huh.
That's the biggest single issue that the sector is facing right now. Grid connections are 5-10 years away. Nuclear, probably the same amount of time, and then then the typical behind the meter power solutions, 500 meg upwards. The turbine, the turbines, and then beneath that you've got recip engines, and way down beneath at the bottom end of that you've got the high speed engines. Sort of the CATs, the MTUs, and they're kind of topping out at around about 3.5 meg. This is where our business, Bergen Engines,
Let's talk about that.
starts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you are solving for that power problem like right now.
We are.
How are you doing it?
So, well, just a little bit about us.
Please.
We employ about 5,000 people around the world, 18 manufacturing sites. And in 2021, we acquired a company called Bergen Engines.
Heard of
from, formerly Rolls-Royce Bergen Engines.
Yep.
For previous 20 years.
Yeah.
And before Rolls-Royce, they were the Rolls-Royce of medium-speed engines.
Okay.
Now, these are not to be confused with the high-speed engines that we're talking about, CAT and MTU. These are the big brothers. A typical CAT 3.5 meg engine genset will be weighing in at maybe 25 tons. These guys are 175 tons. They are big.
Sounds it.
Yeah. And and at 60 hertz, they're 11.2 megawatts. So that's our building block. And Bergen Engines is part of our Power Solutions division, along with Marelli Motori. It's Italian.
Sounds it. Sounds like a Ferrari.
Yeah. Marelli Motori we acquired in 2019. They manufacture large alternators. They actually produce quite a lot of the alternators for CAT and their smaller generators. Okay. But they produce the alternators that are going on to the Bergen engines, and that's our building block. That's what we've got on offer here. And what we've done is we've gone from a build to order model to get ahead of the game, because we can see what's happening here.
Yeah.
Everybody is hungry for power.
Yeah.
And
every conversation I've had, through to the final conversation I'm having with you, somebody at some point mentions power as being kind of the linchpin, the biggest issue, the biggest challenge that we're facing. And nobody really seems to have a grasp on when it will no longer be the biggest challenge.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, time to power with our power solution, the Langley power solution, Langley, Bergen, Marelli. I'll talk about the third leg of our stool just in a moment.
Please.
But we're talking time to power 18 months. And that means an LOI signed today, right here, would mean delivery to site Q4 next year. And then power Q2 27.
Right.
Yeah. And that's pretty quick.
That's damn quick. Pardon my French, but that's pretty damn quick considering.
And we're talking 11.2 megawatts. So essentially 11 megawatt building blocks.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the power. Typically 100 to 500 megawatts is our sandpit. Above that, you're talking big turbines and stuff. But this is a modular solution. So you can start with 50 meg.
Yeah.
Or you can start with 150, and you can build. And we've just put the first deal is underway right now for a data center in Vineland, New Jersey.
Okay.
It started life as 150 megawatts. It became 200 megawatts. it's going to be 400 megawatts, and that's all in the space of 3 months.
Scale is a
Yeah.
big problem too,
Well-
and it sounds like you got that figured out.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, Microsoft have signed the head lease now, and they've said, we need to go.
Yeah.
So we're going to be putting 400 meg into that in 11 meg blocks.
That
Right.
sounds real to me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Now, most behind the meter power solutions, the guys that are providing these, are not providing them to data centers. Until now, data centers have been plugging into the grid. Data centers have got a very specific requirement for their power. It's not utility power, it's conditioned power. AI is presenting a particular set of challenges
Yeah.
for the power business because AI is spiky like nobody has ever seen.
Yeah.
And the third leg of our stool is a company that we've owned since 2004, Pillar Power Systems in Germany. Pillar Power Systems is the gold standard of power conditioning. Pillar equipment is installed in the Federal Reserve, the New York Stock Exchange, the Bank of England, you name it, even the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are not wrong.
Yeah.
This is the gold standard of power stabilization. Now, the industry, the guys here will know that name, Pillar.
Mm-hmm.
Colo and hyperscale has moved away from that technology, which is it's a dynamic technology. They've moved away to a static battery solution, a cookie cutter approach. It's and Pillar occupied, I would say, the top block of a pyramid, which since we bought that business 20 plus years ago has grown exponentially. Our Pillar business has grown significantly, but nothing like the way that Colo and hyperscale have. So the Pillar equipment is ultra mission critical stuff. What we're finding, what we've discovered, is that the Pillar dynamic technology lends itself perfectly to these AI loads. So if you think in terms of an AI load being spiky, this smooths out the spikes, and it does it without any degradation because this thing is mechanical, and it'll keep on doing it for 20 years. So we've got, as a power solution provider, we've got a deep knowledge of this sector.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here. To touch and feel the thing for real. To see what it's like any other gold rush. Some of there are a lot of dreamers.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Anthony, because for as long as I've been in the industry, and back when we called it telecommunications and then kind of digital infrastructure, there was always kind of what's real or what's mature and what is not mature. And the entire path is marked with things that we thought, or the industry thought, was mature, and ultimately it went away because it never actually matured, because there was a new solution, a better solution that leapfrogged it almost before it ever actually became before it ever actually had any impact. This feels different.
It does. I agree with that. There's a lot of talk about, is it a bubble?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bubble.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think the internet bubble wasn't actually a bubble.
Never. Right.
It was maybe a balloon that got overinflated and then deflated.
Yeah.
But it's still, it was still there.
Yeah.
But so we had the internet in late 90s, early 2000s. Everybody got excited about that, and then when the party was over, everybody got a hangover for a few years.
Yeah.
But then it caught up. And then the next thing that happened in this space was smartphones and apps and Uber and everything and everything else. Now, AI, this is the next big thing. And this, I believe, is eclipsing everything that's gone before it.
Yeah, I don't even know how you can compare it to everything that's come before, because it is fundamentally a new way of doing everything.
Yeah.
Not just a new way of communicating, not just a new way of disseminating information or even data collecting.
Yeah.
It is a new way of doing everything. And it's happening, and we're not stopping it. And folks like you are actually making it more mature, making it a bigger reality. Those realities, those miracles of AI, the miracles of that, does not happen unless we can solve for that power issue. The cooling issue, we're solving for it. There's innovation there. The power, getting to the power, getting the power, the amount of power, where that power needs to be. That's a problem that we're going to be presumably talking about 10 years from now.
Yeah, 10 years from now, the grid's going to have caught up, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nuclear will be here, maybe.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, the sector needs power, and they need it now.
Yeah.
And, like we say on the strapline, we have the power.
Yeah, that's it. Anthony.
So what I'm saying to people here, we need to sort the wheat from the chaff. We've seen 3 times the amount of capacity that we have to produce engines. We can produce about 1 gigawatt next year. I say to everyone that's shown interest on the booth right here, if you're serious, you sign an LOI.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cost you $600 per kilowatt. It'll be a 10% non-refundable, non-negotiable deposit. That will buy you a 3-month grace period to get a contract in place with us. And in exchange for your 10% deposit, you will know exactly when you're going to get your engines.
Fabulous.
That kind of sorts them out a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is.
They've got, so basically you got 12 weeks to get your act together, to get your funding in place, to finalize a contract with us. But we're in the business. We're in the business of building engines and gensets here. We're in the business of providing power. There's a lot of froth. There's a lot of dreamers.
Yeah, and that's good.
A lot of prospectors. This is a gold rush.
Yeah.
We've got the shovels.
Well, that level of transparency, I haven't seen that. So it's a pleasure speaking with you,
There you go.
Anthony. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Nice
to talk.
It's a pleasure. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. So from Datacloud USA, Metro Connect, and my new friend, Anthony, we're saying so long, and we will see you very soon. Let's go ahead and head to Austin, Texas, where Blueprint Data Centers is helping to fuel the region's rapid tech growth with 85 megawatts of new capacity across facilities in Taylor and Georgetown. That's right, the Taylor Data Center, ideally situated a mere 5 minutes from Samsung's colossal $44 billion or $44 billion chip fabrication complex. I think I got that. 44 billion is difficult for me to say. Chip fabrication complex will deliver 60 megawatts of power, while the Georgetown site adds 25 megawatts. Both locations offer attractive economic incentives, including a decade-long 50% property tax abatement, further highlighting Austin's appeal as a primary destination for digital growth. Folks, that is what the edge is defined as. When you can put it right next to a $44 billion or $44 billion facility of Samsung, that's as close to the edge as it gets.
No, it's incredible. And I also, the story under that story is how great it is when governments and states really draw this type of industry, our industry, in, recognize that we are the source of the future for AI adoption. So, so excited about that story in many levels. Okay, finally in this segment, T5